The moment she stepped into the sterile white room, he knew something was off. Maybe it was the way the light shimmered unnaturally against the curved chrome walls, or maybe it was how quiet everything had become, like the air itself was holding its breath. "Relax, human," she said with a grin far too wide for comfort. "This won't hurt." Her voice was soft, musical even, but something in her tone made his skin crawl. A tingle zipped down Noah's spine, followed by a low thrum in his ears that wasn't there before. He glanced back at the automatic door, but it had already sealed shut behind him. The alien girl, if you could still call her a girl, stood about 5 feet tall, slender, with glowing violet eyes and hair that floated as if underwater. Her skin shimmered like moonlight on oil. She wore a simple gown, too simple for someone who claimed to be a doctor. Noah swallowed hard. "Define. Procedure. She chuckled, stepping closer with a tablet in hand. "A minor realignment of your neural network. A calibration, really. Standard for first-time interspecies contact. Think of it like syncing frequencies." He stepped back, bumping into what looked like a medical pod. The surface was cool. Too cool. "Why does every word you just said make me more nervous?" Her eyes twinkled. "Because you know too little and imagine too much. That's the human condition, isn't it?" He didn't answer. He was still debating whether to bolt or play along. The last thing he remembered was the crew of the Prospector 7 boarding this alien vessel under a friendly signal. First contact. They'd been excited. Curious. Noah, being the xenolinguist, had been the first to step forward. The one chosen to stay behind and undergo a compatibility check. That phrase had been bothering him since they left. The alien girl, who had introduced herself as Dr. Kaylees of the Valari Dominion, tapped the screen and a soft hum filled the room. Lights flickered in bands across the walls. "Please lie down," she said, gesturing to the pod. "How about you tell me what this actually does first?" Noah asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Kaylees tilted her head. "It prepares your brain for higher dimension communication. Right now, we're talking like cave dwellers shouting across a canyon. After this, we can speak in light, in thought, in resonance. And if I say no, you'll remain deaf to 90% of what I'm saying. You'll misunderstand, misinterpret, and possibly insult a half-dozen Valari matriarchs without even realizing it." He winced. "Any side effects?" She looked skyward as if trying to remember. "Possibly mild headaches, vivid dreams, maybe a few minutes of memory reshuffling." Noah narrowed his eyes. "Maybe." She stepped closer, close enough that he could smell her like ozone and something floral. "You're brave, Noah of Earth. You crossed stars to meet the unknown. Don't stop now." There was something in the way she said his name, gentle, but with gravity. Like a plea. He exhaled. "All right. But if I wake up with a third eye, I'm suing the Dominion." Kaylees smiled, genuinely this time. "We'd install a fourth to help you find your lawyer." He chuckled nervously and eased onto the pod. The surface adjusted to his form, cradling him like memory foam. Cold tendrils snaked out from the sides, wrapping gently around his temples. "You'll feel a brief surge," she said. Then silence. He nodded. "Let's get this over with." Kaylees raised the tablet. The hum intensified, became a vibration, then a tone low and vast like the echo of a black hole. Noah clenched his fists. Images flashed behind his eyelids, stars spiraling, languages he didn't know he knew, faces of people he'd never met. Then darkness. And a voice, not hers, but his own asterisk, layered in harmonics. "We're not alone. We were never alone." Noah shot upright, gasping. The room was silent. Kaylees was sitting beside him, hands folded in her lap, watching quietly. He looked around, nothing had changed. Yet everything had. He could hear more. Not sounds. Intentions. Echoes of thought in the air. Kaylees leaned in. "How do you feel?" He blinked. "Like my brain just got upgraded to premium." She laughed, and it was a sound he finally understood, amused, but also relieved. There was more beneath the surface of her every word now. He could feel her smile. "Good," she said. "Because what happens next, you'll need that extra processing power. The lights dimmed. The far wall peeled open like liquid metal, revealing a void of colors Noah had no names for. Kaylee's stood. Come. The real procedure is just beginning. He stood slowly, legs unsteady, heart pounding, and stepped into the unknown once again. Noah had seen his fair share of bizarre things since joining the Prospector Corps: living plasma that mimicked emotions, gas clouds that whispered secrets, even a black hole that blinked. But this was something else. He followed Kaylee's down a corridor that seemed to build itself as they walked. The walls rippled, adjusted, flowed like mercury guided by invisible hands. With every step, his thoughts swirled louder, memories rising unbidden, words echoing in languages he'd never learned. It was like his mind had grown extra limbs, grasping ideas mid-air. Kaylee's didn't speak. She didn't have to. He could feel her anticipation vibrating off her like heat from a sun-drenched rock. And behind it, something darker. Urgency. Worry. A distant flicker of fear. They arrived at a chamber that curved inward like the inside of a massive shell. The center was occupied by a pulsing orb suspended above a pedestal. It shimmered with impossible colors, and the moment Noah looked directly at it, it pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat. "Is that alive?" he asked, his voice sounding oddly distant to his own ears. "Yes." And "No," Kaylee's replied, her thoughts brushing his mind like a whisper. "It's a consciousness. A record. An invitation." Invitation to what? Kaylee's stepped closer. The orb responded to her presence, flaring brighter. To join. To understand. To witness. Noah didn't know whether to be intrigued or terrified. Maybe both. She turned to him fully now. Her expression was heavier than before, less curiosity, more solemnity. "The Dominion didn't bring you here just for linguistic syncing. That was a test. You passed." His throat tightened. "Then what is this really about?" Kaylee's hesitated. The orb's light flickered. A low hum filled the space. Then, it spoke not in words, but in images, sensations, and streams of pure data. Noah saw Earth, fragile and brilliant, spinning in space. Then he saw it wrapped in tendrils of dark energy. He saw alien fleets moving in silence, passing by the Sol system without pausing. And then, one fleet didn't pass. It stopped star. Observed. Catalogued. "A war is coming," Kaylee said quietly, the words barely audible over the waves crashing inside his head. "Not of weapons, but of minds." The orb projected a memory into him, Kaylee's, younger, frightened, standing in front of an elder who dissolved into digital static before her eyes. "They don't kill the body," she continued. "They overwrite it. Erase identity. Turn individuals into walking echoes of a foreign will." Noah backed away from the orb. "Why me? Why Earth?" "Because your species is the only one we've encountered that resists it." He froze. "Resists what?" "The mindfall. The corruption. Your neural chaos, your inconsistency, your irrationality." It confuses them. "You are unpredictable in ways that destabilize their control." He laughed, but there was no humor in it. "So we're immune because we're a mess." "Great." Kaylee's actually smiled at that, but it didn't last. "They've learned. They're adapting. They want to understand why humans can resist." Noah pointed to the orb. "And this thing is going to help them?" "No," she said, voice sharp now. "You are. If you can link with the archive, you'll not only understand them better, you'll help us craft defenses. Cognitive architecture. Thought armor. Thought armor." The phrase made his teeth hurt. "This is more than I signed up for," he muttered. Kaylee stepped forward again, closer this time. "You were chosen because you're not just intelligent, Noah. You're empathetic star. The archive responds to connection. Emotion. Humanity. We can't interface with it fully, but you might." He stared at the orb. It pulsed again, and for a moment, he saw his sister's face. A memory from when they were kids, playing in the rain. His chest tightened. That wasn't possible. He hadn't thought of that day in years. Kaylee's whispered, "It knows you." He looked at her. "What if it changes me?" What if I lose myself in there? She didn't answer right away. You might, she said softly. But if you don't try, we all lose. Noah took a shaky breath. What do I have to do? She pointed to a semicircular platform rising from the floor beneath the orb. Step in. Let it see you. All of you. Don't hold anything back. That's a tall order. You've survived worse. She was right. That time on Vargos 9 when the ship's AI went rogue. The gas breach on Titan's moon. The diplomatic meltdown at the Zethari Trade Summit. Compared to that, this was just another jump into the abyss. He stepped onto the platform. The orb surged. Light, warmth, then cold. A burst of thoughts, not his. Entire civilizations flashed before his eyes. Truths layered on lies, rewritten history, interstellar betrayals. He felt his own identity unravel, stretch, and reweave itself. And then, clarity. He was himself. But more. He understood Kaylee's now. Not just what she said, but who she was star. Her fears. Her past. Her sacrifices. The orb dimmed, slowly. Noah stepped down. Kaylee's caught him. You stayed grounded. That's rare. He rubbed his temple. I saw, too much. She nodded. You're ready now. He frowned. For what? She looked at him, solemn. To meet them. The ones behind the Mindfall. Before he could reply, a chime rang out across the chamber. A portal bloomed open at the far end, its edge lined with fractal glyphs shifting faster than thought. Kaylee's met his eyes. You don't have to go alone. He nodded slowly. Let's end this. Together. And they walked toward the breach. The portal was unlike anything Noah had ever seen, not just a passage but a pressure. It pushed against his thoughts even before he stepped through. As his foot crossed the threshold, the temperature of reality seemed to shift. Gravity twitched. Time lagged half a second behind his breath. Then everything snapped into place. He stood on a platform that wasn't a platform at all but a massive leaf, wide, iridescent, and gently floating atop a sea of light. The sky above churned with thought, flickering with half-formed faces and pulsing colors he didn't have names for. Kaylee stepped beside him, calm despite the madness surrounding them. We're inside the Sicture. Their space. Their mind. Noah's voice felt swallowed by the environment. And they can see us. They are seeing us. All at once. From every angle. Suddenly, something enormous passed above them like a whale made of starlight, trailing threads of memory and sound. It didn't look at them. It felt them. A presence bloomed into Noah's consciousness. Not a voice, but a will star. Ancient, cold, calculating. It didn't communicate, it dissected. It peeled back every layer of his being with brutal curiosity. Kaylee's winced. They're scanning. Resist the urge to react. Just exist. Noah tried to hold still, but every second felt like drowning. The Mindfall didn't probe with questions. It invaded Star. It laid bare his regrets, doubts, fears. It tore open the memory of the friend he lost on Proxima Station, the apology he never said to his father, the crush he buried for fear of it being too human, too fragile. But then, something strange happened. It flinched. The Mindfall recoiled. Noah felt the shift in the atmosphere. It had expected control, expected assimilation. But he didn't fold. He fought back, not with anger, not with violence, but with humor star. With memories of laughter, of chaotic sibling pranks, of ugly sweaters and hot cocoa and dance moves that should have been illegal. The entity trembled, not with fear but with confusion star. Kaylee's gasped. It's destabilizing. You're corrupting its filters. Noah exhaled, letting the memory of his first snowball fight flood his mind. He focused on the absurdity of life, the unpredictability, the beautiful mess of being human. The light around them warped, the thoughtscape distorting like ripples on a pond. The enormous creature overhead cracked into fragments of unstructured ideas. And then, something approached. Not Mindfall. Not Dominion. Something else star. A humanoid form coalesced from drifting particles. Its face was ever shifting, one moment Noah's own, then Kaylee's, then someone else's. It stood still, then stepped forward. "You are not like the others," it said. Its voice was layered, symphonic. "We're human," Noah replied. "That's kind of our thing." It tilted its head. "You are a variable. An anomaly. The infection of deviation." Kaylee's moved protectively in front of Noah. "He is immune. Your hive logic cannot root in chaos." "He is not immune," the entity corrected. "He is *untethered star." Noah raised an eyebrow. "Is that a compliment?" The entity didn't answer. Instead, it held out a hand, shimmering, unreal. Between its fingers danced symbols Noah could almost read. It was offering something. A pact. A fusion. Or a trap. "What does it want?" he whispered. Kaylee's thoughts were sharp, urgent. "It may want to *merge star. To overwrite you gently. To learn through you." "That's not happening." He didn't move. Didn't flinch. "I'm not your petri dish," he said aloud. "I'm not your avatar. I'm not your bridge." The entity blinked. The sky twisted. "Then you are a threat." The light around them darkened, the sea below boiling with fractured memories. A chorus of voices, stolen, hollow, echoing, rose in a warning wave. Kaylee's shouted, "We have to go. Now." The leaf they stood on began to decay. Splinters of consciousness peeled away like burning paper. Noah grabbed her arm. "How?" She pointed to a narrowing funnel of clarity in the distance, a tunnel of reason in the madness. They ran. Behind them, the entity fractured into a swarm. Dozens of mental limbs clawed toward them, slicing through possibility itself. One grazed Noah's back, and he felt his name start to unravel, as if he could forget who he was. He screamed. Kaylee's turned, grabbed his hand, and pushed her thoughts into his mind like an anchor. "Hold on to *me*, she said. He did. They leapt. Through the tunnel. Through the storm of memories not theirs. Through the weight of alien judgment. Everything flashed white. And then black. Then silence. Noah woke up coughing, lying on the cold metal floor of the Dominion ship. His muscles screamed. His thoughts echoed like a cave. Kaylee's knelt beside him, breathing hard. "You're back," she whispered. "That was awful. But you survived. And you did more than that. You repelled them." He groaned, sitting up. "Not sure I want to do that again." Kaylee's looked down at her trembling hands. "You changed something in there. Not just them. Yourself." Noah looked around. The ship's walls flickered uncertainly, still stabilizing from their return. Something had bled through. The mindfall hadn't won, but it hadn't fully lost either. "They'll be back," he muttered. Kaylee's nodded. "Yes. But now, we know they can be fought." Noah stood, legs shaky, soul heavier. "Then let's give humanity a fighting chance." The ship surged to life. And the War of Minds began. 3 months later, Earth was different. Not in the way most people expected, not with battles in the skies or alien invasions pouring from the clouds. No, this war wasn't fought with ships or weapons. It was fought in whispers, in thoughts, in the strange silence between words. The Dominion had returned Noah and Kaylee's to Earth with a warning encoded in thought, wrapped in symbols only a few could understand. The Mindfall hadn't been defeated, it had been *delayed star. Disrupted. But it was regrouping. Somewhere in the folds of spacetime, it was evolving. Humanity had to do the same. Noah now worked from a secure facility beneath the Alps, a place the media dubbed the Quiet Mind. It wasn't flashy. No computers. No broadcasts. Just minds linked, trained, and growing sharper every day. Human minds learning to defend themselves, to think in ways the Mindfall couldn't predict. The first lesson Noah taught wasn't strategy or tactics. It was chaos. He'd show new recruits how to dance like lunatics, improvise terrible poetry, laugh at nonsense jokes. He taught them to draw with their eyes closed, to argue with themselves in the mirror, to write stories with no endings. To be unpredictable. Wild. Illogical. Because in a universe of cold precision, nothing was more dangerous than a soul that refused to make sense. Kaylee's stayed too, an ambassador now, helping humans build mental bridges into Velari thought space. The gap between species had narrowed, and the shared fear of the mindfall became the foundation of something stronger, trust. One evening, as the stars blinked quietly above their facility, Noah and Kaylee sat on the rooftop, legs dangling off the edge. "Do you think it'll come back soon?" she asked. Noah shrugged. "Probably. Maybe in years. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe in a dream. But we'll be ready." She glanced at him. "You're not scared anymore." "Oh, I'm terrified," he said with a smirk. "But that's the point. Fear isn't weakness. It's part of the chaos." She laughed softly. Only humans would weaponize their emotional instability. He bumped her shoulder. And only Velari would admire it. They sat in silence a while longer. The wind whispered across the mountaintops, and the sky seemed a little deeper than before. "What if the mindfall wins someday?" Kaylee's asked quietly. Noah looked up. Thought for a moment. Then answered. "Then we'll keep telling stories. We'll keep dreaming and dancing and breaking rules until we confuse it into collapse. Because that's what makes us human. We don't need perfect logic to matter. We just need heart." She smiled. A real one. The kind that lingered. And deep in the thought space of the universe, something paused. Something old and vast. It had tasted humanity once and still hadn't figured out how to digest it. Maybe it never would. Moral in a galaxy ruled by precision, order, and conformity, it was the wildness of the human spirit, the chaos, the creativity, the contradictions that proved to be the ultimate defense. Our strength doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from embracing what makes us imperfectly human.